Sparky, see? There are people here, and you thought they were ice ants.
Well, when you're flying up high, everything looks like ants.
Welcome to the North Castle. Sorry for the awkward welcome. We haven't had visitors here since we've been covered in all this ice and snow.
Sorry. If you came to see the king, I regret to inform you that he is not here. He's away on a quest to find the great armor.
Oh my, we haven't introduced ourselves. My name is Armorer Lisa, and this is my trusty companion, Sparky. You may not see many dragons where you're from. Don't worry. Sparky's not like other dragons you may have heard about. Sparky only breathes ice, not fire.
Years ago, the royal blacksmith requested an armor dragon to help make armor for the king. I guess something got lost in translation because I'm not an armor dragon, I'm an Arctic dragon.
The blacksmith tried to keep Sparky around to help out, but poor Sparky is allergic to blacksmithing dust and ends up sneezing a lot. In fact, that's the reason North Castle has been buried under all this ice and snow. Whenever Sparky sneezes, we end up having a blizzard. No. I try to help Sparky, but sometimes it just happens. And when it does, we all freeze. What I mean is we all become still and quiet, like an ice statue. Sparky, do you want to show our friends?
Achoo!
Now, that was good. The next time Sparky sneezes, we all freeze. Anyway, enough about us. May I introduce you to our royal musicians? They are great. Musicians, please introduce yourselves and show these visitors what you've got.
Hello everybody, my name is Sarah and I am your royal musician. And it's time for us to learn our first song. And this song is called Be Strong in the Lord.
Like hope is gone. Be strong, be strong. I will keep on keeping on and be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the Lord in the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. When I'm feeling hurt and pain, be strong, be strong. You restore my joy again. I'll be strong in you, Lord. Be strong in the Lord in the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Break it down now. Come on, everybody, time to get strong. Through the power of God, we'll carry on. Come on, everybody, time to get strong. Through the power of God, we'll carry on. If you can't whistle this song, be strong, be strong. Just hum or clap and stomp along and be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the Lord in the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Be strong in the Lord in the strength of his power. Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power.
I never get tired of hearing from them.
So you may wonder what happened to the king and the knights of North Castle.
They are on a quest.
Correct, my scaly flying friend. A little while ago, the king learned of a great armor far superior to anything he already has. So he's gone on a quest in search of this great armor. He went one direction, and his trusted knights went the other. Sparky and I have been tasked to stay here in case anyone returns triumphant.
Unfortunately, no one has returned yet. Tell them what you've discovered.
Oh, yes. I've been reading the king's book, and I don't think the great armor is what the king thinks it is. I don't think it is like any other armor. This is just a hunch, but I have discovered 5 riddles, which I think could help us find the great armor. Unfortunately, they are all written in a language I don't understand.
5 riddles? I thought you told me you discovered 5 pickles. I wondered why you got so excited about pickles. Let me see the first riddle.
Oh, let me get it. Okay. All right.
Hey, I know this language. It's an ancient dragon language. Not many dragons can translate it, but my uncle, Sir Sparkalot, taught me.
Sir Sparkalot?
Yes, I was named after him. Before we realized that I couldn't breathe fire.
Oh, I didn't know you could read.
Well, you never asked. What do you think I do on my off days? Let's see. This riddle says, in order to find the belt of truth, you must study the fiery 1 plus 2.
So it's true. The great armor does exist, and the belt of truth is one piece of it. It sounds like we just need to know where to look in the king's book. Maybe the riddle is the clue. Read it again, Sparky.
In order to find the belt of truth, you must study the fiery 1 plus 2.
What could it mean?
Well, the last time I checked the cold hard facts of math, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we must need to study the fiery 3.
Fiery 3? Well, I do recall that there is a story about 3 men who went into a fiery furnace. Could that be the story we need to study? If we open the king's book, the royal players may show us the answer. Let's open the book and see. I've got the king's book here. Let's open the book and we'll see.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3, tells us a story about 3 men God loved with very strange names: Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men lived in exile in Babylon and worked for a ruler named Nebuchadnezzar. Not a ruler like an actual king. He was not very nice. Anyway, he made a statue. It was not made out of clay, it was a statue. Closer, but it was made of gold. Close enough. So King Nebuchadnezzar made a golden statue and said that whenever anyone heard the sound of music, he had to bow down to the statue. Yes, well, I suppose it could have happened that way. Nebuchadnezzar thought everything was going along great until he was told about 3 men who would not bow down to his statue. King Nebuchadnezzar was not happy. The king was not happy. The king was really mad. Thank you. Much better. King Nebuchadnezzar called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to his palace. When they got there, King Nebuchadnezzar gave them one more chance to bow down to the statue, or he would put them in his big oven. The 3 men tell King Nebuchadnezzar the truth. We will never serve your God or bow down to your statue. If you throw us in your big oven, God will be able to save us. But even if God does not, we will still not bow down to your statue. The king got really really mad and ordered the furnace to be heated up really, really, really hot. The big oven was so hot. It was hotter than that. Let me help you with this. It was 7 times hotter than its normal heat. I mean, it's hotter than Florida in July wearing your winter coat. King Nebuchadnezzar thought that that was the end of the 3 men. But as he looked in the oven, he saw not 3, but 4 men. He thought he may need a new pair of glasses, so he asked someone, "Didn't I throw 3 men in there? Then why do I see 4 men and one that looks like a god?" King Nebuchadnezzar called for them to come out of the oven. When they came out, the king noticed that not a hair or any part of their clothing was burned. They didn't even smell like smoke. King Nebuchadnezzar declared, "May the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be praised. He sent his messenger to rescue his servants who trusted him. They ignored my order because they wouldn't serve or worship any god but their God. I now issue a decree to every people, nation, and language. Whoever speaks disrespectfully about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's God will be in big trouble, because there is no other God who can rescue like this." Then, instead of making them a part of the barbecue, King Nebuchadnezzar promoted all of them and gave them better jobs in his kingdom. And this is just one great story from the King's Book.
That's it! That's it! That was the answer! Come on, let's go find the belt of truth!
We can't leave North Castle, remember?
Oh, right. We need some knights to go on this quest. What about these fine travelers?
They don't look like knights, do they?
Well, what if we knighted them? Most knights go through lots of training, starting off as a page, moving to squire, then finally to a knight. Perhaps they could just learn some knightly skills along the way.
What kind of knightly skills?
Well, the most important skill for knights to have is balance. Knights ride horses, run, climb, and move around in heavy armor. Let's practice. Stand up with me. Okay, good. Now, pick your left leg up and bend your right leg. Hold on to a chair if you need to. Okay, great. Now, pick up your right leg and bend your left leg. Oh, fantastic. You are on your way to becoming knights.
Don't forget our banner verse. No knight ever goes on a quest without the banner verse.
Absolutely. Our banner verse is from Ephesians 6:10. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Soon to be knights, say this with me. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
You sound ready. Don't worry about getting lost on your quest. Castle guides and station leaders will help you along the way.
Ready, knights. Oh, the last thing you need for this quest is the castle call-out. First, the motions for armor up look a little like putting on a safety harness. As you say the word armor, put your right fist in front of your left shoulder. And as you say the word up, put your left fist in front of your right shoulder. Then we do this motion as you say with truth. So you're going to point here. Are you ready? Armor up with truth. All right, let's try it one more time. Armor up with truth. Oh, that's great. Now, let's go find that belt of truth.
Hi, fellow knights. Welcome to Kingdom Crafts. Today, we are going to armor up with truth. And today, we are going to make a knight kit. And if you remember, North Castle is hidden in a frozen land. The king and knights are on a quest in search of the king's armor. But the armor isn't what they think it is. The new knights of North Castle learn at VBS that the clues to the armor are found in an ancient book, the Bible, and learn stories helping them understand the qualities each piece represents. So today we're going to start with, like I said earlier, the Create Your Own Knight kit. So in your kit you will find this background, and you will find some little foam sticker cutouts, 2 of them, and I'm going to show you how to put your own knight together. So the first thing that we are going to do is just take your piece, your background piece, and lay it down, or should I put it here? Okay, I'm going to put it there so it has background. All right, and you're going to start assembling your knight. And I have to read about this because I'm not quite sure what to put on first. So we are going to punch out first all of our pieces. That's his little body. We've got his sword. This is his helmet with his face behind it. And this is his little skirt. And we have some boots. So we're going to punch those out. And we are also going to punch out his shield. And this is a little feather that goes on the top of his hat. Don't lose it, it's really tiny. All right, so you can just throw those away. All right, so the first thing we do is take the adhesive backing. So on the back of all of these, there's a piece of stuff you can pull off. But I'm going to start with, I guess I'll just start at the top and work my way down. So I'm going to take his little head. This is the helmet right here. Okay, and we're just going to put that, peel the back off, just like that. And then make sure your castle's right side up. And you're going to put his head up here in the light colored part. So he's going to go, yeah, somewhere like that. All right, so we have his head there. The next thing we're going to do is take his little body, this piece right here, and I'm going to peel. My fingernails aren't as long as I thought, so you might need help with peeling. And we're going to stick his little neck right under his head like that and just press it on. All right, and then we've got to add some pants. This kind of, not sure what this is, but it's at the bottom part of them. So just peel that off. And does he wear a skirt? You might need to edit that. And we're going to put that right under those little circles there, which are his hands, and just stick it right there. All right. So naturally, I think that the legs would come next. So again, peeling. You might need help. Be careful which side you put it on, or he's going to look funny. So we're going to put his feet right here under the skirt. And there are 2 of them. All right, so we'll stick that right there. All right, so there's your knight. And he needs a sword, so a little more peeling. And let's see, we'll put this in his hand. So there's a circle right here, and you can just match that circle up with this one and just pop it on there, and you can press it on if you'd like onto the background. And we have our knight, and he needs a shield, because what is he doing? He is armoring up with truth. So we're going to give him his mighty shield. So we're just gonna again pull. All right, now he's got a sword in one hand, so we'll put the shield in the other hand. Because he has to use both hands for that. Then we have this tiny little feather. I guess it's a feather. It goes on top of his helmet. So it's the last little piece. Excuse me. I'm going to stick it just right up here at the top somewhere. There you go. All right. Now your knight is made, and all we have to do is on the back just loosen these little tab slots, and we're going to roll him up, and we're going to tuck each one of these into the tab. So here I go. We are tucking each one in, and you want to push it together until it seals a little bit, just like that. And if you will, look on your knight stickers and find the shield that says armor up with truth, which is right here. So I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to turn him around to the back, and I'm going to seal that with an armor up of truth shield. And now you can kind of manipulate him, move him to make him more round. And now you have your own knight that will remind you to armor up with truth. All right, so now that you have made your own knight to remind you to armor up with truth, you are now going to make, or we are now going to make, a friendship bracelet. And you will find in your kit 2 pieces. They won't look like this because these didn't work very well. So you're going to find some elastic band, 2, in your kit. And you're going to find a round washer, silver washer. And we're going to make a bracelet to show us how to armor up with truth and remind us of this Bible story. So this is pretty simple. All you need to do is take your washer, and you are going to use the Sharpie that is provided in your kit. And you're going to write, and you might want some help with this, but you're going to write the word truth on this washer. So I will show you how to do that. We're going to write a T, and then an R, and then a U, and I will show you this in just a moment, and then a T, and then an H. And this spells truth. And if you want to, like I did, you can write it on the other side. Just turn it the other way, and you can write truth on this side also. All right. You can just do 1, you can do 2. It doesn't really matter. All right, so there's your washer now. And what we're going to do is take one of these pieces of elastic, and we're just going to loop it through, and just a little bit through, because we're going to tie a knot right here. Just a small knot on one side. We're going to do the same to the other side. So you're going to tie your knot, and you might need help with this. I might need help with this. Okay, so there's my knot. All right, and then I'm just going to take the other piece of elastic, go to the other side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I am going to tie a knot over here on the other side. of truth. And it's always nice to be truthful and honest. That's a great quality to have in somebody. People need honesty, truth. And this you can share with a friend to remind them that it's always best to be honest and truthful, and that they too should armor up with truth. And they can do that with this bracelet. See, I'm wearing it right now. And then all you will do, this came undone, but you will have different string, so it should not come undone. But I'm just going to tie this very quickly again and show you how to put it on, which is pretty simple. So all you're going to do is take this, and just like I did, you put it on your arm with the truth side showing, and you have somebody tie it for you. And I don't have anybody to tie it for you, but I had somebody to tape it for me today. So then you will be armored up with truth, and your friend can be armored up with truth. Excuse me there. And again, remember, armor up with truth. And I want to remind everybody at the end of each of these sessions, he said, be strong because God is always with you. Like soldiers, wear armor and carry shields to keep safe. We can wear the armor of God. It's not real armor, but it can help us face hard things. When we speak with truth, stand up for justice, and spread the good news, we are wearing the armor of God. When we have faith, it's like we're carrying the shield of God. When we follow Jesus and the Holy Spirit, it's like we are wearing a helmet. Say prayers all the time. Keep showing up as faithful followers of Jesus. And pray for each other. And pray for me.
Go.
Today's Bible story is about 3 men who have faith in God. They know the truth about God's power and love. These 3 men are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I need your help telling the story. Can you help me with this? I really need it. I'll tell the part of the story, and then when I signal to you, you will chant Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. There's simple motions too. Do you think you can handle that? Okay, you guys, let's try this. Remember, these men, they have strong hearts, they have strong minds, and they have a strong faith. And what are their names, guys? Let's see if you can chant it. Ready? Here we go.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
All right, I think you guys got it. Are you ready to help me out tell this story? Okay, here we go. Great. Let's listen. Watch carefully, because here is the part of the story you're going to be amazed, and I can't do it without you. Are you ready? Once, there was a king named Nebuchadnezzar. He was ruler of Babylon so long ago. And in that land, there were 3 faithful people. Are you ready? Names are
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
The king made a towering gold statue and ordered everyone to bow down. Bow down? Yes. But the 3 men would not bow down. And what are those men's names?
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
And they would not bow down. But when the king found out about their actions, that king, oh goodness, he ordered them to do it again. He says, no, you will bow down. You will bow down. And so they just didn't do it, guys. And he made it known right then and there. He's gonna punish them. And what were their names, guys?
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Yes, that's their names, and they didn't bow down. So guess what? They were ordered to go into the fiery furnace. Inside that furnace, they were thrown into that furnace. They were thrown into that furnace. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. And then the guard turned those flames up high. How dare they disobey what the king had ordered? And what were their names again, guys?
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Though the flames were fierce inside that furnace, guys, the men were full of faith. They did not have woe. They were so filled with faith because they knew that messenger of God was right there with them. They knew what to do. And what were their names again? Help me out.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
That king, oh, he was so amazed. He was amazed and he just decided to set them free. So he set them free. Their trust in God had made his heart grow. His heart grew, guys. He ordered everyone to respect God. Yeah. And what are their names again? Help me out.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
The three men knew the truth of God's great power. Three men had their faith, and they showed their faith, guys. Even now, they are a great example. What are those three guys' names? Help me out.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Thanks for joining us for this story. Have a great night.
Hi guys, welcome to our winter VBS of Knights of North Castle. I'm your crazy scientist, Miss Courtney, and welcome to my lab. Today we're going to be doing some experiments here on our first day, and you learn today about the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and how they were staying in their truth. So, before we start any science experiment, we need to do safety first. Glasses, hair back. And today we're going to use fire, so we want to make sure we have adult supervision. So, since I'm an adult, I'll be doing the supervision. So first, let's talk about our household items. We'll need some of our baking soda, a candle, some vinegar, some kind of vase, a bowl, and your candle to sit inside. We had a second candle with us, and of course, fire. All right, first things first, we're going to watch, and we lit the candle, okay? And next, we'll take 1 tablespoon of baking soda. We'll put that in our vase. And next, we'll take 1/3 of a cup of our vinegar. Oh, look, bubbles, 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 bubbles. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now I'm going to put the candle out. You ready? Here we go. What? I didn't even pour it. Do you know what happened? The vinegar and the baking soda reacted together and made a gas and went to the candle. This is the truth of science, showing that not necessarily a liquid will blow the candle out. So let's talk about that a little bit. Fire can be scary. So we want to make sure that God protects our 3 friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were in the fire. God is also at work with us today. So we have to think about giving the knowledge to protect ourselves. So with our intentions like fire extinguishers and fireproof blankets, and making sure sometimes we blow the candle out before we go to bed. It's important to be safe, and it's important to be protected. But it's good to know that just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, God is with us and He's watching us. Thanks for joining me in the lab today. See you next time. Hey kids, let's take a closer look at what we just did. So we'll go ahead and light that candle. Remember, adult supervision. We'll take our tablespoon of our baking soda and we'll put it in our vase. And then we'll take our 1/3 of a cup of vinegar Just like that. Look at it go. Look at it go. Okay, ready to put it out. Well, wait a minute. Almost. And just like that, the gas blew out our candle.
King Nebuchadnezzar ordered people to bow down to the golden statue whenever they were hungry, they heard music, they were sleeping, they were in school. The answer is when they heard music. The banner verse is found in the dictionary, the ocean, the Bible, Ephesians 6:10, or cartoons. The answer is the Bible, Ephesians 6:10. Knights need to know how to make pizza, paint fences, play soccer, or ride horses. The answer is ride horses. Thanks for playing.
Wow, for brand new knights, you certainly know your trivia. Good work. To celebrate your safe return, let's bring on the royal musicians.
Now it's getting hot, hot, burning up, burning up, hot, hot, burning up, it's burning up, hot, hot, burning up, burning up, hot, hot, let's go, burning up, it's burning up, threw them in the fire, but they were not burned. They danced and they danced, and told the Nebuchadnezzar, Lord, when the fire's hot, hot, burning up, hot, hot, come on, burning up, it's burning up, hot, hot, yeah, burning up, hot, hot, burning up, it's burning up, hot, hot, it's getting hot, it's getting hot, it's getting hot, but I'm not burning up, it's burning up, I'll just be over here dancing, hot, it's getting hot, it's getting hot, don't mind me, burning up, it's burning up.
Excellent, royal musicians and knights. Knights, did you find the belt of truth?
I see that some of them are wearing belts. Maybe there's more than one belt of truth. Did you find these belts on the quest today?
I think they already had them on when we first met them. Besides, I think the belt of truth is a metaphor. It means more than just wearing a belt. You know what a belt does, don't you?
Without one, your pants may fall down.
Exactly. The belt was the first piece of armor any Roman soldier put on. It kept the clothes close to the body and held all the other pieces of armor together.
Why are you talking about Roman soldiers? These are knights of North Castle.
Good question. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the Ephesians where we are told about the belt of truth. Paul was a Roman citizen and knew a lot about soldiers. He used the analogy because people in that time would understand it best.
Well, the belt is still a very important piece of clothing, even today.
Exactly. We can't stand up for what we believe in if we don't have truth. Remember in our story, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood for truth. They would never serve Nebuchadnezzar's gods or worship his statue, but they did stay true to their God.
And their God had the power to save. That gave them courage to stand up to the king.
Exactly. Do you remember our castle call out? Say it with me. Armor up with truth. Truth is one of the most important things that we need to have.
Don't forget our banner verse.
Let's say it again. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
Two.
Look, the knights are back and look how good they froze in place when you sneezed. Where were you?
Sorry, I had cold feet.
What? What are you talking about?
You know, cold feet, nervous. It's a joke.
Oh, Sparky. Have you been reading that old joke book again?
Oh yeah, I figured I better brush up on some jokes about the cold. After all, everything is cool here at North Castle, thanks to me and my sneezing.
Oh. Everything certainly is cool up here.
Armor Lisa, could you check my wing? You know, the royal dog, don't you?
Frost? The king's dog? Did he bite your wing?
He sure did. Now I have a frostbite. Get it?
Unfortunately, I do, Sparky. I found another riddle about the great armor. Remember, these riddles are written in ancient dragon language.
And I am the only one here who can interpret. Let me see what you have. This one says, if the breastplate of justice is what you seek, look for 5 pebbles in a creek.
The breastplate of justice must be another piece of the great armor. So to find it, we have to look for 5 pebbles in a creek?
Well, around here, it would be 5 pebbles in our frozen moat.
I think the riddle is trying to tell us where to look in the king's book. Let's see. 5 pebbles. Well, looking through here, I see where people gathered 12 rocks after they crossed a river, but that wouldn't be it.
There was a boy who had 5 loaves of bread. I've eaten some bread that was just about as hard as a rock.
Oh, I've got it. There is a story in 1 Samuel 17, 1 through 50, about a boy and 5 stones. Maybe that's it. Let's take a look inside the king's book and see if the royal players can help us out.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, tells us about one of the most famous battles in the history of the world. It all starts with King Saul, a very strong and handsome guy. However, as we learn later, he was not a great king at all. Therefore, God chose a small young shepherd to be the next king. He was the smallest and youngest of 8 sons. His name was David. This little shepherd really loved God, King Saul led his people in battle against their arch nemesis, the Philistines. They were not very nice people. When I said they were not nice, I meant to say they were very mean. Thank you. The Philistine army was very confident, and for good reason. They had a secret weapon, a powerful soldier named Goliath. He measured 6 cubits and a span. In other words, he was very tall. Taller than that. Taller? Close enough. Every day, Goliath yelled at the Israelites to send out someone to fight. All the Israelites, including King Saul, were too afraid to fight Goliath, so they did nothing for 40 days. Nothing, that is, until little David showed up to bring lunch to his brothers. While delivering food, David heard Goliath shouting at the Israelites, "Send out a man for me to fight." So he volunteered. The king was unsure about sending a boy into battle. But David told the king about how he had fought both lion and bear to protect his sheep. I will do the same to Goliath. The king agreed and gave David all of his armor to wear, but it didn't fit. Instead, David simply took his sling, went to the creek, and found 5 smooth rocks. Maybe try those smaller ones over there. With only his sling and a bag of rocks, David goes to fight the powerful Goliath. Now, it was Goliath's turn to be shocked as he saw David approaching. Instead of a strong warrior, the Israelites sent a small shepherd boy with no armor. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" Unfazed, David said, "You fight me with weapons, but God will win this battle." Goliath just laughed. Maybe a little more... Yeah, that's it. Anyway, David took a stone from his bag, put it in his sling, and flung it at Goliath. It hit him right in the head, and he fell on his face. When the other Philistines saw that Goliath was dead, they all ran away, and the Israelites ran after them. All of this was just as David said when he told Goliath, "Our God doesn't need swords or spears. God owns this battle, and he will hand all of you over to us and bring justice." And this is just one great story from the King's Book.
Oh, that was one epic battle. And that story answered our riddle about the pebbles in the creek. Sparky? Sparky?
Is it over? Was the giant defeated?
Yes. Where did you go? Were you afraid of Goliath?
Of course.
Well, so were the Israelites. I bet David would be a big fan of our banner verse. Remember? It's from Ephesians 6:10, and it says, "Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power." Hey, Sparky, why don't you say it with us this time? Are you ready? Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power.
That does give me a little more courage.
Speaking of courage, our knights did a great job on their first quest last time. Now it's time for another quest.
Last time our brave knights practiced their balance, which is very important for a knight. What do they need to practice this time?
This time we need to practice a little horse riding. Horse riding is a big part of being a knight. Knights spend a lot of time on their horses, and they need to have proper riding techniques so they don't fall off. Everyone, stand up with me. Now, bend your knees a little, keep your back straight, and bounce up and down.
Do they need to hold on to anything?
Oh, yes, thanks for the reminder. Yes, a knight would hold on to the reins of the horse. You could pretend to do that with either 1 or 2 hands. Try that with me.
They are looking more and more like knights. what's our castle call out for today?
Oh, the castle call out is armor up with justice. Remember, you're going to put your fist on your shoulders, just like you're putting on a safety harness when you say armor up. So you say armor up, and then you're going to sign justice. It's like this, like scales. Are you ready? Let's say it together. Armor up with justice.
Two.
Knights, when you unfreeze, remember to follow your castle guides and station leaders. They're going to help you on your quest today. Off you go to find the breastplate of justice.
Hey boys and girls, welcome back. I'm your resident Dr. Courtney, and we're here for Kingdom Science. Guess what we learned about today? David and Goliath, an awesome story. And what David had to have faith to face Goliath. Remember, little David, big Goliath. And he won against Goliath. So let's talk about North Castle and how it also really needs protection. So let's see how we, you and me, and with the help of an adult like me, can make a catapult. Hey, camera lady, let's look over here. So we have several supplies. They're included in your kit. They include paper cups, little foam balls, some tape, piece of a cut pool noodle, a balloon, scissors with the help of an adult, and you may also go online and look at these cool designs like these with pencils and rubber bands, and these with a spoon as well. So what we want to do is make a catapult, our very own personal one. Here's one all finished. Now, if you look inside, nothing. See? Nothing. But for us, we want to take our pool noodle. We want to cut the end. But first, we're going to knot the end. Y'all know what a knot is, right? Circle, circle. Pull it through. Woohoo! So, the question is, what do you see inside the cannon, which we saw nothing? And next, do you think the air inside my teeny tiny cannon is gonna make the cups fall down? Let's find out. So we cut the tip of the balloon off. We tied the end. And now we're just gonna stretch it, stretchy, 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 over the pool noodle. See what we did there? Super cool, right? And next, we take our awesome duct tape here. We like to have red in the science lab because why? That's Dr. Courtney's favorite color. And we put it around, and we might need just a little more. And we do. And we almost lost the line. Alrighty, alrighty. Make sure you're using an adult supervision when you're using that. Pair of scissors, okay guys? Alright, so just like that, we've wrapped it up. Looks very similar to the one I've already made. Now, the question is, a little air in there. Do you think the air inside will knock the cups down? Let's give it a try. I'm gonna come around. Hey, camera lady, here we go. And a 1, 2. It moved it. We're gonna double up. We're doubling up. 1, 2. You made me a stronger cannon. But as you know, North Castle needs protection. So you may decide that a different design is something that you could use. For instance, I'll show you my really cool spoon one. Watch out now! Bombs away! So of course, as you saw my cannon, we know that an air cannon might not quite be enough security or protection for our North Castle. But our relationship with God, that's what helps protect all of us. because we can be strong in the Lord and in the strength of His power. And we want to make sure that we are always armored up with justice. Thanks, boys and girls. We'll see you the next time in the Kingdom Science.
Good day, good night there, knights of the King's Army Castle. We are back ready to tell you another Bible story. Are you ready to help me out? I'm going to need your help out with this again today. So watch out when I do motions, when I make sounds. Help me out there, kids. But before we do that, we need to say our verse. And our verse for today's lesson is, be strong in the Lord and in the strength and in His power. We need to remember those words, strength and power. God can give us that. Make sure you repeat those verses as we dive into this wonderful story. So today's story starts with this battle that's going on. We've got these two armies. I'm sure you've heard the story of David and Goliath. You know, fighting those giants is really hard, so I want to help you out here today. So we've got these two armies battling. One army which is way up in the mountains over here, and this would be the Israelite army. King Saul is leading that, and that's David's side. And then way on the other side is going to be Goliath and those Philistines, and they are awful, and then they are trying to see who's going to win. And you know the leader, that leader that we don't like at all, that leader is Goliath. And Goliath is a bully, and he is mean, and he leads those Philistines. We can't stand that. Let's be Goliath for a minute. Can you stomp 6 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Goliath was saying, who wants to fight me? Come on out. I'm ready for you to fight me. But guess what, friends? There was no one in the Israelite army that wanted to fight. They were terrified. And there was a long pause. Nobody wanted to fight him. You can just imagine, friends, their heart. Can you help me make the sound of what they probably felt like? They were terrified. Then a young shepherd boy named David came forward. Saul told David he was too small. He was no match for that big Goliath, that giant that was down in the valley. He was no match for him. But David knew that God protected him from lions and bears. And he was not only a shepherd, but he could be protected even against that bully Goliath. So David then found some smooth stones. He found 5 of them. Can we clap 5 times for those stones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And David went out to meet Goliath. And Goliath just laughed. Can you laugh with me like a Goliath would? Ha, 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 ha. But David decided to pick up the stone. So he picked up the stone. He put it in his hand and put it in that slingshot, and bam! He knocked Goliath down to the ground. They were amazed. The Philistine army that was led by this giant Goliath could not believe it, and they ran away fast. Can you be like me? And let's run away. Yes, they ran away fast. They couldn't believe that their giant had gotten gone. But Saul and the Israelites were so excited. Yes, they were so excited because David, the shepherd boy who was so small, had the strength and used God's power, and he defeated Goliath.
David went into battle against Goliath with the king's armor, a sandwich and an apple, a sling and 5 small stones, his best friend. A sling and 5 small stones. To become a knight, one would first become a page, and then a whole book, squire, police officer, baker. A squire. Our banner verse states, "Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power, army, horses, iceberg." Power. Thanks for playing.
Knights, you must have really been paying attention. You were excellent in trivia. Now, to celebrate your return to the North Castle, let's bring on the royal musicians to lead us in a triumphant tune.
Hey, hey Goliath, you look pretty big. Me, on the other hand, I'm just a little kid. So what? I may not be strong as you. There is something about me you don't know. Here's the truth, see? You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. 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 If only you knew. You think you're fighting me, but you're really fighting too. The battle's not mine, it belongs to the Lord. Greater is the one who's in me than any in the world. So you stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath, go ahead and laugh. I got a couple pebbles hidden in this bag. When I raise my arm, when I start to swing, I'ma knock you out with just a rock and a sling, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the name of the Lord, yeah. You stand before me with your shield and sword, but I stand before you in the power of the Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, Goliath. 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 Stand before me with your shield and hey, hey, Goliath. Stand before you with the name of hey, hey, Goliath. Stand before me with your shield and hey, hey, Goliath. Hey, hey, Goliath.
Excellent singing, brave knights. But I haven't asked, how did you do on your quest?
Did you find the breastplate of justice? Or did you find the breastplate of just ice? Get it? Get it? Just ice?
Yes, I think we got it.
Just nice. It's funny because it sounds like justice, and there's a lot of ice here.
Yes, thank you, Sparky. But we're talking about the breastplate of justice.
What is a breastplate anyway? What's justice? Are these things Roman soldiers had?
Great question, Sparky. Yes, these are all metaphors, things that are familiar that help us understand something unfamiliar. Paul, the writer of Ephesians, used a breastplate as a metaphor. Remember, there were a lot of Roman soldiers around, and people would have understood what he was saying. The breastplate was the main part of a Roman soldier's armor. It would protect important parts of the body like the heart and the lungs. When we talk about justice, we might mean someone either getting a reward or a punishment for something they had done.
So when David defeated Goliath, that was justice?
Yes, God rewarded David for trusting in God. God decides what justice is because God is perfect. God is just, so God can bring justice.
Last time we found the belt of truth, and this time we found the breastplate of justice. Those sound like two different things.
Actually, justice and truth go together, just like the belt and breastplate go together in a soldier's armor. A soldier would need to put his belt on first and then his breastplate, just like we need to know the truth before we can know about justice.
This is really exciting.
It sure is. Great job, Knights. This story about David reminds us that God can bring justice. David knew that the Lord, the God of Israel, was with him, and that truth gave him courage to stand up to the giant. David knew that God would bring justice between Goliath and the Philistine army and the Israelites.
And God brought the Israelites victory, even though they had to face Goliath.
Exactly. Let's say the castle call out together. Are you ready? Armor up with justice.
Say it with us, Knights. Armor up with justice. Great.
And let's not forget our banner verse. Be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, that you are the one true God. Thank you that you give us the strength to stand up for all that is true. Help us to be strong for you. Thank you that you bring justice and you give us the courage to trust you, even when we are in difficult situations. Amen.
Achoo!
Hey guys, we hope you all had a wonderful time tonight at North Castle. So I want to let you know that in your take-home kit, there's this awesome lanyard and Sparky. Hey Sparky. So anyway, Sparky is there for you to keep and wear when you come and join us. And each time you join us, you'll get a new shield to add to your lanyard. So whichever day you're working on, you can armor up with truth or armor up with justice and add those stickers onto your lanyard. The wonderful thing about this is you can take this and make it into a backpack tag later on and carry it with you. And on the back of Sparky is our Bible verse, so you can always remember it. So glad that you're with us. Hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you next week.